Hi, I am B. Janardhan Reddy. In this video, I am going to show you the ray diagrams for certain useful cases in refraction of light at curved surfaces. How some rays behave at curved surfaces are shown in this video, and these rays are very useful in knowing the formation of image. Okay. Before going to the original ray diagram that we are going to draw, let us remind what is Snell's law. Okay, the laws of refraction hold good even for the refraction of light at curved surfaces, and the Snell's law, one of the laws of refraction, valid even for the curved surface also. For that reason, what is Snell's law? Let us remind once again. So here I am showing the refraction of light at plane surface here. Okay. Later I will draw the ray diagrams for certain useful cases in case of refraction of light at curved surfaces. Okay. See here. This is a glass slab. So it is a transparent glass slab, and this one is the rarer medium. Okay, it is optically rarer medium. That means the speed of light is more in rarer medium than denser medium, and this medium is the denser medium, optically denser medium. Okay, so and this is the incident ray which is falling on the glass slab at this point. So here AB is called as the incident ray, which is incident on one of the surfaces of the glass slab here at this point, and this point is called as the point of incidence. Okay, so what is AB here? AB is incident ray, and in order to know the refracted ray, how the refracted ray will travel, in order to know that, we have to draw the normal at the point of incidence here. So the incident ray is incident at this point, and we have to draw the normal, that is normal to the plane surface. This is the plane surface, and here is the point of incidence, and we have to draw the normal at the point of incidence here. So this is the normal I have drawn, and when a ray of light travels from rarer medium into denser medium, it bends towards the normal. It bends towards the normal. You see here, here n dash is the normal drawn at the point of incidence, and this light ray is traveling from rarer medium into denser medium. So before going to that, what is this? This is the angle of incidence I. So the angle between the normal drawn to the plane surface at the point of incidence, that is normal, and the incident ray. The angle between the incident ray and the normal is called as the angle of incidence I. Okay, and this ray of light is entering from rarer medium into denser medium, so it bends towards the normal. You see here, it has bent towards the normal. That means this ray actually would have gone like this if the glass slab is not there, this ray would have gone like this, but it is bending and changed its direction. It is going like this. Okay, so this ray is called as the refracted ray. Okay, so here R is called as the angle of refraction, the angle between the normal, that is n dash, and the refracted ray is called as the angle of refraction. It is represented by R. So what is CD here? CD is the refracted ray. So CD is the refracted ray. Then what is Snell's law? See here. Snell's law states that n equal to sin I by sin R. So what is n? N is the refractive index of the medium, this medium. Okay, so the first medium is air and the second medium is glass. So here the refractive index of the second medium, that is a denser medium, I am taking it as n equal to sin I by sin R. This is called as the Snell's law. So the Snell's law can be stated in another way as n1 sin theta 1 equal to n2 sin theta 2. You see here, this is very interesting thing. When n1 is less, that is this product is always constant, that is n sin theta is constant, that means n1 sin theta 1 equal to n2 sin theta 2 equal to n3 sin theta 3, like this. Okay, so that means Snell's law can be stated simply as n sin theta equal to constant for one particular medium. Okay, so here n1 is the refractive index of the first medium and theta 1 is the angle between the incident ray and the normal, theta 1, and n2 is the refractive index of the second medium, say this one, and theta 2 is the angle between the refracted ray and the normal. So here you see here n1 is less. You see, you may ask which one can be taken as theta 1 and which one can be taken as theta 2. This is, remember, n1 is the first medium, that is from the first medium only the ray starts and enters into the second medium. So wherever the ray enters into the second medium, the refractive index of that medium will be taken as n2, second medium. So here you can observe very carefully, n1 is the first medium in this case. So air, here the refractive index of air is less than the refractive index of glass. That is, in this case n1 is less. When n1 is less, here theta 1 is more. n1 is less, theta 1 is more here, I is more here. But in this case you see here, n2 is more, that is refractive index of the second medium, say glass, is more. So when n2 is more, theta is less, then only n sin theta will become constant. So this is very simple thing. So when n1 is more, that is the refractive index is more, isn't it here? When here in this case n1 is less, refractive index is less, theta 1 is more, and here n2 is more, hence theta 2 is less. Okay, so this is called as the Snell's law, and this law will hold good even for the light, even for the refraction of light at curved surfaces. Okay, see here, I will show you once again how these rays have traveled. Okay, this is the path. Okay, now it has changed its direction. And one more thing, very important thing, when a ray of light enters from rarer medium into denser medium, it will bend towards the normal. And there is one wonderful property for light rays. A light ray always retraces its path. That means this ray is coming and going like this. If you reverse their direction, suppose if you send the ray like this, it will retrace its path. That means when a ray of light travels from denser medium into rarer medium, you can see that it will bend away from the normal. Why? Because a ray of light always retraces its path. See here, if you send the ray of light like this, it will go like this. Okay. Now in this case, a ray of light is traveling from denser medium into rarer medium, that is from glass into from glass to air. So this is the optically denser medium. Denser medium means its refractive index is more. Okay, so this one is the air. So rarer medium, refractive index is less. When the refractive index is less, okay, what will happen? When the refractive index is less, the angle between the refracted ray and the normal is more. In order to make n sin theta to be always constant, when theta is when n is more, theta is less. When n is less, theta is more. Okay, so this ray is coming like this through the glass. It is coming and it is incident at this point, and this ray wants to emerge out, go out from the glass at this point. So this point is called as the point of incidence. So what is AB? AB is called incident ray, and this is the point of incidence. That means this ray is traveling from denser medium into rarer medium. It has incident at this point. So in which direction it goes? In order to know that, in order to draw the refracted ray, immediately we have to draw the normal at the point of incidence here. This is the normal at the point of incidence. Now, so can you tell where is the angle of incidence? This is the angle of incidence I. N dash is the normal. This is the angle of incidence I. Okay. So very interesting thing. You can imagine very easily. N sin theta is constant. Here n is the, that is n1 sin theta 1 equal to n2 sin theta 2. I already explained this. N1 sin theta 1. N1 is here what? Rare, denser medium is N1. That is N1 is our denser medium. So here the refractive index of the denser medium, that is N1 is more. When N1 is more, I should be less, that is theta 1 should be less. So here n is more, I is less, that is angle of incidence is less. Here rarer medium, in rarer medium n is less, that is refractive index of rarer medium is less. When n is less, theta should be more, that is the angle of refraction should be more. For that reason, whenever a ray of light travels from denser medium into rarer medium, it will bend away from the normal to get the angle of refraction more. See here, it is bending like this. So this is the refracted ray, and here is the angle of refraction R. Obviously, you can see R is more than I. Okay, so CD is called as the refracted ray. Snell's law. Okay, this is all about the Snell's law. Now, let us go to the refraction of light at curved surfaces. I am showing you the behavior of certain rays at curved surfaces while refracting. Okay. First, here I am showing you certain terms related to the curved surfaces. Okay, terms related to curved surfaces. See here, this is a curved surface here. Okay, here you can see this part is the curved surface, and okay, this is the curved surface. And this P is called as the pole of this curved surface. And here is the point C is called as the center of curvature. So C is called center of curvature. That means if you complete this curved surface like this, then this point will become as its center. Okay, so C is called as the center of this curved surface. Remember this. Okay, next, and this one is the normal. This is very important. Any line segment passing through radius is called the normal. So this is the normal only. Actually, we have to draw the tangent here at this point, and we know that radius of a circle is always perpendicular to the tangent drawn at any point on its circumference. So here, if you draw the tangent, and this tangent is always perpendicular to the radius. So you no need to draw tangent again, draw the normal. You have to draw the normal directly through the radius of curvature. Okay, through radius like this, not radius of curvature, through radius you have to draw the normal. So this is the normal. So normal at this point. If you want to draw the normal at this point, again you have to draw the ray through radius. And an imaginary line passing through pole and center of curvature C is called as the principal axis. So this is called the principal axis. Okay, then what is PC? The distance which measures from P to C is called as the radius of curvature. So PC is called radius of curvature. Okay. Now let us draw the ray diagrams for certain rays. That is the behavior of certain rays at curved surfaces. See here, here is the case 1. A ray traveling parallel to the principal axis strikes a convex surface and passes from a rarer medium to denser medium. Okay. This is the case 1. A ray traveling parallel to the principal axis strikes a convex surface and passes from a rarer medium into denser medium. So let us study the behavior of this ray. Okay, this is the curved surface. So this one is the convex surface. How can we decide whether it is the convex surface or concave surface? With respect to the incident ray, we have to decide. Okay, so okay, first let us locate the pole and the center of curvature C. What is this medium? This is the denser medium. Okay, this is the denser medium. This part is the rarer medium, that is air. Rarer medium. Now, can you tell what is this point? This is the pole P, and here is another point C. So P is the pole and C is the center of curvature. Now what we have to do? We have to draw the principal axis. A line passing through or a line segment drawn through P and C. Pole and C is called as the principal axis. So case 1 I am explaining. You see here, a ray is traveling parallel to the principal axis. A ray comes like this and strikes a convex surface because the incident ray is coming like this. When the incident ray is coming like this, with respect to the incident ray, this curved surface is a convex surface. This is a convex surface. With respect to the incident ray only, we have to decide which type of surface it is. Okay. A ray traveling parallel to the principal axis is incident on the convex surface at the point A. So AC is the normal drawn. See here. Same here. A ray traveling parallel to the principal axis. This ray is traveling parallel to this principal axis and is incident on this convex surface at the point A. So in order to know the direction of the refracted ray, what we have to do is immediately we have to draw the normal at the point of incidence here. So let us say let us name this point of incidence as A. That is, this parallel ray, which is parallel to the principal axis, is incident on the convex surface here at this point here. Now we have to draw the normal at this point. How do we draw the normal? Simply join C and A and draw a line like this. Okay. So this is the normal. Now you can imagine very easily, because this ray is traveling from rarer medium into denser medium. Here also Snell's law will hold good. So whenever a ray of light travels from rarer medium into denser medium, what will happen? Does it bend towards the normal or away from the normal? Obviously, it bends towards the normal like this. Okay. Here I am writing, when a ray of light travels from rarer medium to denser medium, it bends towards the normal. Okay, so it will come like this and strike the principal axis somewhere here. See here, has it bent towards the normal or away from the normal? Towards the normal. Okay, na? Next, case 2. I am going to show you the behavior of this ray. A ray traveling parallel to the principal axis strike a convex surface and passes from a denser medium to rarer medium. This case is exactly opposite to the first case we have learned so far. Okay, see here, this is the denser medium. Here, a ray traveling parallel to the principal axis strikes a convex surface. That means a ray will pass like this. You can see that later. First locate P and C, and this one is the rarer medium, this one is the denser medium. Okay, here is the curved surface. You may ask, is it convex surface or concave surface? We should not tell which one is the concave surface and which one is the convex surface. We should not tell like this. We have to say which one is the concave and which one is the convex with respect to the incident ray only. With respect to the incident ray only, we have to say that surface is convex and that surface is concave. Okay. Now, so first this is P, pole, and C, center of curvature. Okay, now this one is the principal axis. You know this. A line drawn through P and C, pole and center of curvature, is called the principal axis. Okay, now you see here a ray traveling parallel to the principal axis is incident on the convex surface at the point A, and AC is the normal. Okay, so here is the ray. This is the ray. I want to know the behavior. So this ray is traveling parallel to the principal axis. Okay, now, so it is incident at the curved surface here. Observe very carefully with respect to the incident ray. This curved surface is convex surface. It is curved outward this side. So with respect to the incident ray, the curved surface is convex surface. So this ray is incident at this point, say A. So A is the point of incidence. Then what we have to do? We have to draw the normal, because this ray is traveling from one medium into another medium. Obviously it will deviate its path at the separation, at the interface here. Okay, so here, in order to know the direction of the refracted ray, what we have to do? We have to draw the normal immediately. See here, where we have to draw the normal? We have to draw the normal at the point of incidence A here. So Just you join A and C like this. Draw a line through A and C. Okay, this itself will become as the normal. So actually this is the radius, from here to here it is radius. Any line drawn through radius is always normal at that point. Okay, so now what is the Snell's law here? Here you see I am explaining in different way. Here this is called as the angle of incidence. This is called as the angle of incidence. So here this one is the denser medium. Okay, so denser medium means the refractive index is more. When the refractive index is more, the angle of incidence is less here. That means this ray will get refracted in such a way that the angle of refraction comes more. Okay, so why? Because here rarer medium means here the refractive index is less. When refractive index is less, angle should be more in order to follow the Snell's law, that is n sine theta is always constant. Okay, so this ray is going like this. So when a ray of light travels from denser medium into rarer medium, it will bend away from the normal. So this is the behavior of the second ray. You can see this in words. The ray of light is traveling from denser medium to rarer medium, hence it bends away from the normal. Next, case 3. I am showing you the behavior of another ray. A ray traveling parallel to the principal axis strikes a concave surface and passes from a denser medium to rarer medium. See here. Here is the curved surface, and I do not know whether it is the concave surface or convex surface. I cannot decide now itself, because with respect to the incident ray only, we have to decide whether that surface is the concave surface or convex surface. I already told you. So this is only just a curved surface. See here. This one is the denser medium. That means the refractive index of this medium is more than this medium, rarer medium, say air. This is glass. Okay. So this one is P, pole, C, center of curvature, and this is the principal axis. Now, this ray is traveling parallel to the principal axis and strikes a concave surface. So, see here, a ray traveling parallel to the principal axis is incident on the concave surface at the point A. So, AC is the normal, and this is the incident ray. Now you can say that with respect to this incident ray, this curved surface is the concave surface. Okay, now it is the concave surface. So this ray is incident at this point A. So A is the point of incident. In order to know the refracted ray, the direction of the refracted ray, we have to draw the normal at first. So this is the normal drawn at this point. Now we can easily tell that this ray is traveling from denser medium into rarer medium. So Does it bend towards the normal or away from the normal? According to Snell's law, it bends away from the normal. Okay, the ray of light is traveling from denser to rarer medium. Hence, it bends away from the normal. Okay, like this. If the surface is not there, this interface is not there, this ray would have gone like this, and it is traveling from denser to rarer. That's why it is bending away from the normal. Next, case 4. See here, a ray traveling parallel to the principal axis strikes a concave surface and passes from a rarer medium to denser medium. Okay, so this is the denser medium and this is the rarer medium. Say this is the glass and this is air, and here is the P pole and C is the center of curvature. Okay, now we have to draw the principal axis through C and P. So this is the principal axis. Now the fourth ray. This ray is traveling parallel to the principal axis, strikes a concave surface like this, because this ray is passing from rarer medium to denser medium. See here, a ray traveling, this ray I am talking about, a ray traveling parallel to the principal axis is incident on the concave surface at the point A. So AC is the normal drawn. This is the ray I am talking about. See here, it is traveling from rarer into denser. And what type of surface it is? It is the concave surface with respect to the incident ray. This surface is concave surface. Okay, so this ray has incident here. The point of incidence is A. Okay, now to know the direction of the refracted ray, we have to draw the normal at point A. So this is called as the normal at the point A. Now you can guess, does it bend towards the normal or away from the normal? Because the ray is traveling from rarer into denser, so it bends towards the normal. The ray of light is traveling from rarer to denser medium. Hence, it bends towards the normal. See here. Okay. And here the behavior of one more ray is showing. According to Snell's law, the ray which travels along the normal drawn to the surface does not deviate from its path. See here, this is one curved surface, denser medium, rarer medium, P is its pole and C is the center of curvature. This one is the principal axis. Okay, here is the normal I have drawn. This is the normal. Suppose a ray of light is traveling along the normal like this. See here. First I am drawing like this. This is the incident ray and this is the refracted ray. This ray hasn't bent. it does not get deviated because it is traveling along the normal only. According to Snell's law, here angle of incidence is 0, then angle of refraction is also 0. So here this ray won't get deviated. So any ray passing through normal will not get deviated. You take another ray also here. See here, at this point, it is not getting deviated at this point because it is passing through the normal only. Okay, thank you.